and if you know about must and how Baba served the must, otherwise you'll have to read that small book. Do you have that? Divinely Intoxicated? Yeah. So, and he was, what should I say? Defecating on the premises of the temple. And Eraj said, he was a little aghast. I said, what are you doing here? It's a temple. Then Eraj asked the must, do you know where you are, in what place you are? So he said, yes, this is a temple. And Eraj is asking, but how is it that you are doing such a thing in a temple? Now Must asked the Eraj, okay, do you know what a temple is? And Must is explaining that when man cannot get God and feel God in their own hearts, they captivate him in a place like this. They cage him in a place like this, and that is what they call temple. You see, so beautifully. And if you have heard about the place called Kovur, we just recently had been there. There is a Baba's idol over there, Murti. And the people there asked Baba that we want to have an idol installed. And Baba said, I have come to do away with all these things. I have come to, break all these things, because that is not it. That is not what is required. But then as usual, people, I wouldn't say pestered, but they brought him around. No, but Baba, you see, our people they need something, da 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 da. And one of our Lord's weaknesses, which he himself confessed in this incarnation, because he talked about weaknesses of the earlier advents. What was the mistake of Zoroaster, Ram, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad? And he said, I've got two weaknesses as the advent. And one of the weaknesses is that I am very bhola. I am very bhola. Huh? And somebody asked, what is the second weakness? That I'll tell afterwards when I come after 700 years. So then they asked Baba, no Baba, this way we need to have it. And very beautifully, of course this was in Nauranga, the message that was given. There are other messages given in Kovur, where Baba says, although you have built this house of stone in my name, he doesn't call it temple. Although you have made this house of stone in my name, I am in it only when your heart brings me in. So the importance of that place is when you bring Baba in your heart, otherwise it is just a house of stone. Okay, so coming back to so this is how we get into narrowness. It can itself become a cage when not understood properly. All world religions proclaim the same eternal and universal truth. Yet, human weakness has a tendency to carve out something limiting. Narrow loyalty which closes its gates upon the shoreless and unbounded ocean of love or divinity. We tend to make it very, very narrow. I remember once Baba had gone to one school. Now I am not very sure whether it was the same school of Vadala. Was it the Vadala school that Baba had gone? And Baba gave a very long, beautiful discourse, and afterwards Baba said, all religions of the world proclaim that there is but one Father, one God, the Father in heaven. These are not the exact words, but all world religions proclaim that there is but one God, the Father in heaven. And then Baba goes on to say, I am that Father. And Father means the priest, the father of the school. He liked the message very much. And he told Baba, St. Joseph School, this was his Vadala. And he told Baba, can I jot it? Can I, he has already written down, can I use this for a school magazine? And Baba said, yes. Baba's gestures, yeah, I am very happy about it. But can you repeat it, what I have said? And he repeated the whole message except the last line, and I am that Father. And Baba said, you have missed the most important part. You have missed out on the most important part. Father Rego. Father Rego. Okay.
The diverse rituals and ceremonies of different religions and cults are intended to release divine love, but they mostly bind the soul to the repetitive mechanism of expressive forms. Attachment to the rigid forms of external expressions of love for God not only limits the love itself, but creates separative divisions between one religion and another. It is not the essentials of religions, but addiction merely to their outer forms which has tended to divide man from man, thus thwarting the very purpose of the great founders of the world religions.
The diverse rituals and ceremonies of different religions and cults are intended to release divine love. The main purpose of all these ceremonies, whatever it may be, is to release the divine love, to release love for the divine. But they mostly bind the soul to the repetitive mechanism of expressive forms. Once anything becomes repetitive and mechanical, the rasa, the maja, the crux, the divinity in it is lost. Attachment to the rigid forms of external expressions of love for God. Now all that we do in terms of rituals and ceremonies is nothing but an external expression of form. And once we get into a rigidity, that this is the way you have to join hands and not this. And you can never put your hand like this when you're praying, as if you're protecting someone. Or you should never, then this becomes rigidity. And once you get into the rigidity, then the whole expression of love is lost. Attachment to the rigid forms of external expressions of love for God not only limits the love itself, but creates separative divisions between one religion and another. And that is how we start dividing one religion from another. I remember when we talk about expression, when Baba was physically present, in his darbar, there was one Dr. Harry Kenmore, if you heard the name. He was a blind chiropractor, he manipulates body bones and all that. And Baba would ask him to recite the prayers. Now his voice, was like a bomb. It was like a bombshell, But that was his natural way of expression. So when he would say, he would say, "Om Parvatikar, the preserver and the protector of all." And then he would go on banking like this. Now there was another gentleman, Dr. Hoshan Bharucha, he's from Navsari. So after the whole thing was over, after the show was over, so to speak, he tells, "Are you fighting with Baba or what sort of prayer you are saying? The way you are saying it is as if you are, So he realized it that way, So next time he was very mild. And Baba looks at him, and of course he was blind. So Baba looks at him and tugs him, and he's distracted. And through Erach he said, "What's wrong with you? Are you sick or something? Why are you not saying the prayer in the usual manner?" And then when Baba got to know that Dr. Bharucha had counseled him and advised him to be more civilized rather than fight with Baba, he said, then Baba, this is how Baba said, he is saying from the heart. So what is important is that we say it from the heart. And it doesn't matter how high-pitched or low-pitched you are. And it also doesn't matter what is the speed at which you say. Just recently we had been to Kovur. That was the fastest prayer I have heard. I can't say it, prayer. But if he's saying from the heart, who am I to say? So most important thing, and if you go to Mehrabad, you know how it is. No. It is toned down. So it is. So once we get into a rigidity of it, then the whole thing is lost. So we need to do it from the heart. It is very important that we need to do it from the heart. During Baba's time, there would be singers who would be coming to Baba, and they would sing for Baba, obviously. Now there would be some who are known singers, Nami singers. They would focus on their vocal cords when they are singing, and not on the heart, not on the words. And there would be others who may be like me, croaking, but he may be, not that I am saying that I am doing it from the heart, they would be doing it from the heart. So whenever these so-called egoistic singers would come, now Baba was he was a master of everything, you know. So when he's singing, and Baba had this habit of lagaving tal and doing like this and doing like this, and when the singer is singing, you know, he would do like this, you know, and that fellow will be. And the mandli, whenever the singing procession is going on, the ladies' mandli would never be in. They would be behind the screen, and the ladies would be watching Baba's expression and all that. And Baba would look at them and do like this. In Parsi we say "Paki ne poro." Paki ne poro means, oh, itna boring hai, itna humbug hai. There's a slang, you know. So he would do like this, and they would know now Baba. And then Baba would be very happy and say, over, now next. Means now over, now next man. Like the next person come. So that is how he used to be. You know, on one side So what I'm trying to come to is that he emphasized the heart. He emphasized that anything that you do it with the heart, do it with the feelings, and irrespective of how, as I said, high pitch, low pitch, slow speed, high speed, it doesn't really much matter. It has to come from the heart. So here Baba says, it limits the law itself but creates separative division between one religion and another. It is not the essentials of religions but addiction merely to their outer forms which has tended to divide man from man. Today man is divided, this religion, there, because this outer husk we are discussing, deliberating, arguing, fighting for no reason at all. Thus thwarting the very purpose of the great founders of the world religions. The great founders of the world religions, name it Zoroaster or Ram or Krishna or Muhammad, anybody, the whole idea was peace. And even if they had gone to war, like there were wars during Muhammad's time, there were wars during Krishna's time, but that war had a particular purpose, it has a divine purpose to it, and not enmity. There was no enmity in it. And Baba had very beautifully said, there was one Englishman, maybe English, maybe American, I don't know. He had been to Baba and he told Baba that I have been drafted for the war, I have been registered for war, so what should I do? And beautifully Baba said, if you can avoid it, avoid it. If you can't avoid it and you have to go to war, then do go to the war. If you are stationed in the front, or on the front, if you are given a gun and to shoot, shoot. But do not have the slightest iota of enmity. Do not have any hatred for the other person. Do not have any pride that you have killed so many other people. Shoot as a matter of duty. Do it as a matter of duty. You see, coming to that, since we have a Nami lawyer with us, advocate with us, I remember once one advocate went to Baba. Okay, first I'll talk about the judge and then I'll talk about the advocate. One judge went to Baba, and first time, and Baba as usual, you know, he asked, how did you come, where did you come, where do you stay, and what do you do? The person said, I am a judge. Like, fantastic. Then he says, I too am a judge. I too am a judge. I too am a judge. But there is a difference. And so profoundly he said, you know, he said, you establish, he may be right or wrong, you establish the guilt of the person and punish him. I know the guilt of the person and forgive him. What a profound statement. I know the guilt of the guilt of the person and forgive him. And talking about advocates, you know, one advocate had gone to Baba and Baba said, "Bhai, हमारे धंधे में तो सब झूठ बोल बोलना पड़ता है. What do we do about it?" Very beautiful example. Baba said that before taking up a case, you have to decide whether you want to shield or take up a case or not for that particular person. Once you have taken it, then everything that is within your means to support, to protect, to help, whatever you call it, you know, counsel, advice, that all the loopholes of the law, everything that you have, you know, the acumen, the expertise, that you have to apply that in order to do it in the interest and in favor of your client. So before you take up, you may decide